Good morning, students. So let's start with software requirement validation today. So in the last lecture we have discussed about the requirement specification, that is we were discussing about the requirement engineering process where we did elicitation analysis as first phase, then requirement specification. Now the third one is your validation and the fourth management. So we'll be doing these two today. So what do you mean by requirement validation? Requirements validation is a process of checking the requirements for validity, consistency, completeness, realism, and verifiability. So, if you remember in the requirement analysis, we said we need to analyze the gathered requirement for all these parameters, right? Whether these are present or not. And finally, in the validation also, we are going to check whether they are present or not, because if you are supposed to validate it, all those like redundancy, ambiguities, and must not be present in your system. So that is what we are checking for all these parameters here. Now, concerned with demonstrating that the requirements define the system that the customer really wants. So validation is also a process which helps us in demonstrating that our system is behaving as expected, whatever customer wants from the system, and we should the requirements which we have collected is going to fulfill all those requirements. And the third thing, requirements error costs are high, so validation is very important, right? Now if there is any error in the requirement, ultimately it will get propagated to the later phases, and it will lead to disaster also, or maybe it is not expected whatever customer wants, so it might be a reason for rejection also. So ultimately we have to try to validate here itself in the requirement phase itself whatever requirements we have gathered, so that it is like you can say its scope is limited to this requirement phase only, and it is not propagated further. Now fixing a requirement error after delivery may cost up to 100 times the cost of fixing an implementation error, right? So here if you fix it, it will take less time and cost, but if you are going to if get propagated and you test it there and then try to make the corrections, it will take more time and cost. Now what are we supposed to check? We check validity. Does the system provide the functions which best supports the customer needs? Are these valid requirements actually, right? Which is going to fulfill users or customers need. Consistency. Are there any requirements conflict? Maybe it happens like, what is the confliction? Consistency. Inconsistency. Say if I say A equals to B and B equals to C, well A is not equal to C. So this becomes inconsistent. So we need to check all those sort of conflicts or the inconsistencies actually. Then completeness. Are all the functions required by the customer included? Have we left out something? Right? So we need to identify that. Realism. Is it practically implementable within the given constraints? Verifiability. Can the requirements be checked? Right? Are we able to check the correctness of those requirements? So verification is an intermediate step I have told you, while validation is which is performed at the end, that is testing. So in the verification we just keep on checking after each and every phase normally ki are we proceeding in the right direction in order to achieve the major goal or objective, right? So this is what verifiability is. So we check for validity, consistency, completeness, realism, and verifiability. Now what are the techniques used for validation? The first technique is requirements review, right? Whatever you have gathered the requirement, you just manually analyze all those gathered requirement. Review is what? Just a sort of audit, right? You are just checking it manually. Second is prototyping, using an executable model of the system to check requirement. Now we have seen prototype model. What we do, we make a working model of the system with those requirements and get it evaluated by the customer. So that is also a sort of validation. We are giving it to the customer and trying to get a better understanding of the requirements or more requirements if customer wants to add, right? Then test case generation, developing test for requirements to check testability. Now here we'll do this in the testing phase also. We generate test cases. Test cases are nothing, they are the test data with which we are supposed to test our system, right? So this is also one of the validation technique where we have to properly design these test cases in order to check the complete behavior of the system, right? Then requirement reviews. Regular review should be held while the requirement definition is being formulated. That means we say at the end of the day we must check whatever work we have done is as per the demand or not. Both client and contractor staffs should be involved in the review. So everyone must be involved. Review may be formal, that is with completed documents, or informal also. Good communications between developers, customers and users can resolve problems at early stages. So you keep on communicating with all the stakeholders ultimately, right, and try to identify all the problems whichever is possible in the requirement so that later it doesn't create a problem, right. I'll upload one more image or a slide in the LMS. Just see if the requirements are misunderstood or misinterpreted or it is not complete, what disaster it can lead to. Customer asks something and the developers develop something because they are not able to understand it properly, or the customer was not able to make him understand. He himself was not clear about the requirements. So this could lead to some we were supposed to develop something else and it took another direction and the developed product was something else, right. So we'll see to this. I'll upload that also. Then review check. Now what we check in the reviews, we are supposed to carry out the review on the regular basis. So we check for verifiability. Is the requirement realistically testable, right? Comprehensibility. Is the requirement properly understood? Traceability. Is the origin of the requirement clearly stated? And adaptability. Can the requirement be changed without a large impact on other requirements? So these are to be taken care of. This is what we check during the review. That means it must be verifiable, comprehensive, traceable and adaptive in nature. Now coming up to requirement, the last step of RE process, that is software requirement management, right. Now what does this management means? Requirement management is a process of managing changing requirements during the requirement engineering process and system development. So when a change can come in your software, during the development also, during the requirement phase also, or once you have deployed the system then also. That means any time the requirement change can come while you are working on the requirement phase, or whether you have completed it and you have started with the development then also, right. It's inevitable. So it's a process of managing all those changing requirements. Business, organizational and technical changes inevitably lead to changes to the requirement for a software system, right. Requirement management is a process of managing and controlling these changes. Now changes comes due to what all things? Maybe the business, the need or the expectation from the business, the organizational reasons could be there, and technical reasons could must be like hardware or software gets changed or whatever it is. Now new requirement emerge as a system is being developed and after it has gone into use. So while you're developing it, normally it takes some time to develop the software, either of the approach you use. So by the time it is about to come in the market, maybe the requirement gets changed. So what you have developed in that span of time becomes obsolete. So you need to change it because new requirements keep on emerging. You need to keep track of individual requirements and maintain link between dependent requirements so that you can access the impact of requirement changes. You need to establish a formal process for making change proposal and linking these to system requirements. Ultimately, requirements are linked to each other and you have to keep a track of all those requirements, because if you're supposed to change one, you have to make the changes in the linked requirements also. In changing requirement, the business and technical environment of the system always changes after installation. One reason. The people who pay for the system and the users of that system are rarely the same people. So customer has asked us to develop something, we developed it. But who is going to use it? The end users, not the customers, right? So end users might be expecting something else from the system apart from whatever is developed, right? So again, a change is required in that case also. Large systems usually have a diverse user community with many users having different requirements and priorities that may be conflicting or contradictory. Now, since you have large number of stakeholders for a given software or the application you are developing, so their requirements and priorities might differ. So what is the requirements evaluation? Initial understanding of the problem. We start with here, right? Then initial requirements we gather. Based on the problem we try to gather the requirements, right? Then with time the requirements keeps on changing, right? Now what happens is changed understanding of the problem. Now once you gather the requirement, maybe you get more understanding of the system and you find that no, something else is expected, right? So again you try to understand the problem with that change thing, right? So that is, it keeps on evolving. You have something in hand, the problem, we gather the requirement. With time the requirements might change, right, or the problem might get changed. So ultimately you have to evolve, you have to change your requirements now and then. Now what is the process? What are we supposed to do? Requirement management planning, the very first step. Establish the level of requirement management detail that is required, right? Level of requirement management, like we'll identify here. Requirement management decisions that must be taken is, first of all, requirements identification. Each requirement must be uniquely identified so that it can be cross-referenced with other requirements. So whatever is the important features or the services that your system is supposed to give, you have to identify all those requirements separately, right? Individual modules, right? A change management process. This is the set of activities that assess the impact and cost of change. Now say you require a change in that requirement which you have identified, right? So you have to identify the set of activities. First of all, identify the impact and cost of change. Say you're supposed to make a change in a requirement, you will not directly go and make the change. Maybe it's not fruitful, or it may give rise to more errors, or it might not, the system might not work as expected. So there could be things. So first of all, the very first thing is you have to check what will be the impact. Is it going to be positive one? What are we expecting? Or it might be negative impact also, which is not going to serve the purpose, right? And how much is the cost involved? Say the cost involved is more, and the benefits that you will be getting after the change requirement is negligible. It's not going to give you any profit. So why to make that change? Right? If it is fruitful, if it is beneficial, it is going to generate revenue, then only you are going to make that change. So what we are supposed to do? We have to first of all assess the impact and whatever is the cost of change involved, right? Then we'll be discussing in the next session. Now traceability policies. These policies define the relationship between each requirement and between the requirement and the system design that should be recorded. So ultimately traceable. I have told you earlier also the requirements must be traceable from one to another. Maybe requirements may be traceable to corresponding design, and design is in sync with code, right? Vice versa, code is in sync with the corresponding design, and code design is being in sync or traceable to requirement, right? That should be there. So we must have certain policies. Now tool support. Tools that may be used range from the specialist requirements management system to spreadsheets and simple database system. So in order to for the requirement purposes, we require tools also. Like we have prototyping tool. Likewise, we have spreadsheet. We have simple database management systems which are going to support these activities. Once you have planned it, then decide if a requirement change should be accepted or not. Now whether to go for that change or not. Since you have analyzed the impact measure here, you have identified it, you have identified the impact in the cost, whether it is traceable or not, and whatever tools is required for that. This was the planning part. Now whether to accept that change or not. Now what is the thing? What are we supposed to do? First is problem analysis and change specification. Whatever problem is there for which you are supposed to make the change, analyze it properly and identify what all changes are required for that. Analyze the problem and identify the change specification. Write what all changes are required. Once you have identified the changes as per the problem, now go for change analysis and costing. Identify, right? Analyze that change, whether it will going to serve the purpose or not, whether it is going to give rise to more errors or not, whether it is going to work properly or not, because it has to integrate with the existing requirements, other requirements also, and then it must work all together. So there is a possibility it gives to rise it give rise to errors also, right? So analyze all those changes and identify how much cost will be involved in that. Now if you find that it is going to give you benefit, right, then go for change implementation, else not, right? So see, change implementation is wherever the changes are required, you have to make the necessary changes and update the document. So this is a 3-step process which can be represented with a diagram also. Identify the problem, go for problem analysis and change specification, then analyze the changes whichever you have identified in the previous phase and get the costing. If you find it is beneficial, go for change implementation, revise your requirement, that means update your documents. So this is requirement change management, and it happens like during the requirement phase also, or you have you are into development phases like designing, coding or testing, then also there might a change required in the requirements, or once you deploy your system to the customer, they have started using it also, then also you need to maintain your system due to one or the other reasons. In that case you have to make the changes in your requirement also. So this is a very important step, that is requirement change management, right? So this is what we have completed with the RE process. Go through it once, right, and understand. If any doubt, please do ask me later.